Hey everybody, we're back, and I'm going to start by reading my prepared text for this one. Alameda County forgets Oakland A's land deal details. Coliseum JPA protocol in bad look. Once again, the City of Oakland and the County of Alameda show they don't understand the real estate deals they and the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority make with professional sports organizations. In this case, it's the Oakland A's. The problem is the County of Alameda sold its part of the Oakland Coliseum land to the A's in 2019. But there was a provision that in what was considered an unlikely occurrence then, the A's relocated from Oakland and it did not finish paying what was owed, would have to pay that amount within 180 days after relocation was announced. Well, relocation announcement happened 2 Fridays ago, and so the clock started. Trouble is, the city and the county forgot about it until my video on the subject was released, 13 days ago. Then the East Bay Times picked up my story, but they didn't credit me, okay? Then the East Bay Times author, I'm not going to mention, went to the Alameda County Council, Donna Ziegler, who strangely decided to talk to the East Bay Times rather than passing the matter to the Coliseum Joint Powers Authority Executive Director, Henry Gardner. Now work with me here, because you would say, well, wait a minute, isn't that the way it's supposed to be since the county owns the land? And I'm saying this is what gets to the dysfunction. You have 3 heads, Oakland, County, and JPA. It's a Coliseum property. So because it's a Coliseum property, we're talking about the Coliseum, all matters should flow to the JPA, right? Makes it easy to figure out who to deal with. Okay? So what Donna should have done is said, I'm deferring an answer to your question to Henry Gardner and let them work it out. There's no need to give the media an answer right now at all. Okay, doesn't matter if it's me in the media or the East Bay Times or anybody else. Okay, but that's what she did. Okay, and Ziegler then said the A's didn't have to pay anything because they didn't announce they're relocating. That was her read on it. That was wrong, as you know and I know. But the matter didn't stop there, folks, because Alameda County Supervisor Dave Halbert decided it was his turn to avoid, pointing the media in the direction of Coliseum Joint Powers Authority Executive Director Henry Gardner, in effect deciding to, make the call himself. I am the county supervisor, right? Well, he's not the county supervisor. He is, one of a set, but I digress. All right. He blurted out an answer. While Halbert was correct in saying that the A's had already announced the relocation, he did 3 things with one fell swoop. 1. Okay. All right. He made his county council look bad. That's the first thing. Okay. Then he said that the A's should be the one paying right now, in effect, making the call as to what to do for, Henry Gardner. All right. Okay. And then threw Henry under the bus by not directing the East Bay Times to him. 3 things like that. Boom. Okay. So then SF Chronicle's Scott Osler wrote, the county's surprise bill collection may have important and positive ramifications for Oakland. And that sentence proved Scott had no idea what he was talking about with the entire deal. Sorry, Scott, you didn't. Okay. And it's like the editor said, hey, would you kind of write about this real quick? And, all right. But he did. Okay. He wrote about it. But that sentence proves Scott didn't know what he was talking about, all right? And he didn't understand its true meaning for that matter. First, the $45 million was no surprise to the Athletics. The Athletics have been making payments, scheduled payments, up to this point already. You think that they would actually go ahead and relocate without understanding, having the finance director and the legal director say, hey, by the way, if we do this, then we trigger that? Because it's their job to look out for those things for the Athletics. The city doesn't have any designated person, like the head of a sports commission or that person's staff, to think about these things. So what happens is that the elected official is left stuck out there being cowboy or cowgirl, saying, I have the answer, when it's not their call to do that. They might think it is by dint of their election, but in terms of a chain of command to get something done and create a sense that there is one person in charge of this issue, they blew it. They made it look chaotic. And that's what Oakland has been known for of late. Hey, who's in charge? Hey, who do I answer to? That has been a refrain from everybody from Mark Davis to Joe Lacob to the A's. Who am I answering to? Here we go. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. First of all, and this goes back to my comment about Scott when I said he didn't understand what he was talking about. The $45 million, again, was no surprise to the Athletics. It was part of a predetermined pay schedule, as I said. Second, the A's are going to pay for it because John Fisher and company know that they can flip that land if they want to. There is nothing. That's right. There's no contractual language stopping the A's from selling that land and perhaps getting more for it. A friend of mine says, we've got the Coliseum specific plan. The Coliseum specific plan can only guide how land is developed. It has no say over commerce. It can't by law. No direct say. Affect the value by, changing the regulations regarding use here and there, of course. But you cannot play with the free flow of commerce in the way that my friend suggests can be done. Can't happen. All right. The A's can dump the property if they want to. They didn't sign a contract that said they couldn't. All right. So, and hey, the county knew what it was getting into when it produced the contract. It even stated the fear that the A's could do absolutely nothing with the property. The county admitted in the documents that went to the Board of Supervisors that the possibility was out there. Laissez-faire. All right. So, all right. Okay. So John Fisher stated, though, he did not want to sell the land. The city people are thinking, oh, that's a bad thing. Oh, we live in limbo. I think it's a great thing. All right. Okay. And Scott Oster says the city is stuck. And only a politician would think that way, which means a politician is probably influencing what Scott in the Chronicle was writing anyway. And I think some of them are paying these guys anyway. That's me. Okay. So anyway. All right. But see, a trained economic development officer would think differently. Stay with me here. Okay. This situation shows why County Council Ziegler and Supervisor Halbert went out of protocol on a matter concerning the Oakland Coliseum, and why this should, and thus should be a matter for Henry Gardner to deal with. After all, he's the Coliseum JPA executive director. But in the screwy world of Oakland politics, where elected officials act like they are their own governments within the government, a seasoned expert like Henry is routinely bypassed and the existence of the JPA is forgotten. Think about it. Let's think about it, folks. The Coliseum JPA regularly has meetings with developers regarding the use of and disposition of its land. Shouldn't that be the case here with the A's? Of course. That it's not the case shows why the Coliseum, the city, and the county lose sports teams, no one knows who to deal with. Who am I dealing with? Who am I dealing with? The Coliseum JPA should write an RFP, a request for proposal, for Coliseum City land development by the A's and AACG working together. Since the A's will most certainly be retaining the Coliseum land, the Coliseum JPA should ask this Oakland City Council to direct the City of Oakland's Economic Development Department to issue a joint request for proposals from the Oakland A's and AASCG working on as a master developer team. Okay? I hope that didn't come out right there. It says as master developer A team. I shouldn't have written as a master developer team. I'll clean that up. Further, the RFP would also be written to pave the way for the Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District that I'm calling for, EIFD, the Coliseum JPA was contemplating. And I gave a presentation on, last JPA meeting. The objective, by the way, the video of that is here at Zenny62 YouTube. The objective would be the overall phase development of Coliseum City. You say, what's Coliseum City? It's like LA Live, where you would be able to live near the Coliseum stadiums, eat, drink, and party, and work, maybe as a research and development office over here. Okay? A city within the city, basically. Okay? How the A's want to play in that scenario would be up to them. But if they sell, the organization that buys the land still has to work within the Coliseum specific area plan guidelines regarding development, and that means a sports and entertainment and residential mixed-use development district. So the city wins. You see what I'm getting at? The city wins. The city has forgotten how to do economic development, folks. This proves it. The point is, the city would realize the development it wants, as opposed to waiting for the Oakland A's to make a decision. Oakland, Alameda County, and JPA must show leadership in this matter because the A's would appreciate it if they did. And that's my written statement on the matter. And look forward to, your comments. Sir Chai, thank you for the investment. You're right, Z. Brody is pivoting toward, I don't understand what that's about, toward SF Giants, okay? You know what, Zenny, with so much uncertainty with ownership in Carolina, Jacksonville, and Kansas City, I think Oakland should keep the Coliseum because I see relocation coming. I think so too. I think going after any of those teams should be a possibility, as well as expansion. You can't give up the fight, especially now with sports and its gigantic importance in our society, more so than ever. I agree. So Chai says, the Oakland Arena is not bad. The San Jose Sharks will soon come knocking. What will San Jose do? Yeah. We should go after an expansion team too. Why not? We need a sports commission within the JPA. All right. So I spent an hour on the last one, so I'm not going to spend the same amount of time on this one, but I'll be back to talk more about this. Okay. And thank you, Sir Chai, for the 2. I don't like to do this. I don't like to talk about people who are not on my show and don't talk to me. Okay. So that's closed. Whatever. He says, what I meant was you or someone on your channel called it. Brody Brazil is slowly going to do what Susie did and become an SF Giants fan. Well, that's on him. I don't know the man at all. And I will say this. I mean, I've had Casey Pratt on. We have a different relationship. I don't have a relationship with Mr. Brazil. I don't know him. Frankly speaking, he might pass by me on the street and I have no idea what he really looks like. But I will say this, though, that there's a sad game going on among Oakland and media that in a number of cases winds up in a distortion of the facts. And I really do wish they'd stop doing that. It's not a good thing to do. Okay. It just isn't. All right. So I'll leave it at that. All right, folks. Thank you very much, and see you later. See you soon. That ends the stream. I'm going to talk about the Saints next.